Guys, sorry we missed you. Let's go through everything so you don't miss a thing. So a couple heads ups. First of all, do next class. Make sure you've got your This I Believe brainstorm and planning done and ready to go. As well as remember, if you want like credit on any work you haven't done yet so far this quarter, whether that could be all the way from war poetry, even to just what we just finished on speculative fiction, just make sure that you go and get that work in before Friday, June 4th, to be able to receive credit. So heads up on that guy. Final book drop off. If you have any books at home, whether it's speculative fiction or nonfiction or any other book clubs or any other library books from Blue Ridge or books from my library, you can drop them off during that eighth grade drive-through celebration this coming Monday, June 7th, between 1 and 3:30 p.m. We'll go and collect those books then. That'd be wonderful. And remember, if you have a Chromebook that's broken or having issues, whether with your screen or charging or anything at all, make sure you go ahead and put in a repair request now. You don't want to be that kid starting high school with a broken Chromebook. Okay, so some heads ups. And also, what did we do last class? What are we doing now? Let's take a look. So last class, what we did is we went ahead and we did our final breakout room. We wrapped up speculative fiction. Then we went ahead and gave you guys 45 minutes to go ahead and finish and submit your speculative fiction major summative. So you can get that done. We started this, I believe. So today we're going to go further into this, I believe. We're going to go and work on our discussion, our Padlet. We're going to talk about some qualities of this, I believe, pieces. And of course, last but not least, we're going to go ahead and do some brainstorming and planning. So, without further ado, let's go. So, you're thinking, okay, so what is this, I believe? Well, this, I believe, is a radio program that started in 1951, where people from all walks of life, they went ahead and they shared and discussed their core guiding principles and philosophies when it comes to life. And so those kind of core values were crystallized through specific experiences that these people had gone through in their life that kind of made them realize this is that one really important thing for me. So you're going to end up writing one of these. And the cool thing is short, 500 to 600 words max, or it's come to like one page, single spaced. That can get tricky though, because we're asking you to go ahead and take this enormously broad, huge concept and squish it down really tiny in only 500 or 600 words. So we're going to work on exactly how you put that together. So let me go ahead and show you how we're going to start. First thing we want to go ahead and do is take a look at our This I Believe Padlet. So it ends up looking like this. So there's 5 different This I Believes, right? And if you scroll down a little bit on each one, you'll see your ability to be able to click and read or listen to all of these This I Believe essays. So what we want you to do is actually pretty simple. Go ahead and choose 2, just on my titles alone. Go ahead and read them to yourselves, and then there's questions to answer. Your questions are, what does the author want us to feel or understand about their experience? And number 2, connect with the piece in some way, shape, or form. How can you relate to their This I Believe? Explain. Before I tell you the last question, you need to know these are all essays written by 14-year-olds, kids your age, and they were selected for publication on the national site for This I Believe, which doesn't necessarily judge based on writing skills. Some of these writers, you might be like, I can write that. You probably can. But the editors of the This I Believe website chose these based on what the kids wrote about, not how they wrote. So then that last question kind of comes down to, so why do you think it's important for this I Believe piece to be publicly shared? So what you're going to do is go ahead and choose 2 of these, or read or listen to 2 of these. Go and click your plus sign. Go ahead and add a comment, and there you go. So make sure you hit all 3 questions in the comments. So let's go ahead and pause the video right here. You can go ahead and use the link down here in the description of the video. It's the very first link. So go ahead and use that link down there. Let's pause the video. You guys go ahead and read at least 2 of your This I Believes, leave comments, and then we'll come back together in a minute. Off you go. Great. Now that you've read a couple of This I Believes, let's talk about some of those qualities of what makes a This I Believe strong. So, one quality is, of course, you have to have a belief statement. So you have to come out and in some way, shape, or form say, this I believe. I believe in listening, or I believe in sugar cookies, or I believe in doing laundry. You have to come out and say what it is that you believe in. Also, you got to include personal experiences. Without a personal experience, this is just you blabbing on about something you believe in, and really, it's not interesting to listen to. So you need those personal stories. With those personal stories, you want to try and think back and include those thoughts or feelings that you had back in that moment, so the reader can kind of step inside your head and experience this moment along with you. In addition to that, of course, you can't just talk about the moment. You need to reflect. Look back on this moment. Be able to look back on this now wiser and keener, talking about how this moment changed and how this moment started to crystallize that one core belief. Of course, it's really helpful to go ahead and include dialogue in that moment. It's one of those things where when people see and they feel like they can be a part of conversations, that's just one extra really powerful way to wrap your reader in and bring them inside that moment so they're on the inside looking around, not on the outside peering in. In addition to that, those detailed descriptions, that's the difference between just telling someone what happened and showing them with all that vivid imagery so they can actually picture that movie inside their head instead of you just saying, here's what happened. Careful word choice is crucial. And remember, this isn't just using big, fancy, sophisticated vocabulary. This is using the right word at the right time. It might be just like a four-letter word like lump, and I believe in cookies. Lump is such a great word, and then juxtaposed later in the sentence with another four-letter word of soul, like this lifeless blob lump versus like this the most meaningful thing in our universe. Like, gosh, that's a great juxtaposition. They're both short, small words, so using the right words at the right time. And the most important thing you might notice about this, I believe, is that they are not preachy. And by that, I mean you are not coming out and saying, this is what I believe, so you should believe it too. That's not what this is, right? You don't want to come out and say, here's what you should believe. Rather, you just want to say, hey, here's what I believe. This is important and powerful for me. If you believe it, if you think it's great, wonderful. If not, no worries. This is just about me. So these are really powerful qualities of what makes a strong this I believe. So what do you do with those? Well, it's time to start thinking about just what you could write about. So one of the things we want to do is we want to go ahead and brainstorm and plan for your this I believe. So if you go into Schoology, go into your green folder, go to your this I believe brainstorm planning, you should have something that looks like this. So let me actually walk you through just what you're going to need to do, right? So your directions say go ahead and choose one of the brainstorms that you want to complete. Here's your links to go be able to click on whichever ones you want. Complete that one brainstorm and then do the planning. So it's really doing two things, okay? So the first one is if you want to do brainstorm choice number one is writing short about three things. So you're going to choose three things and write short about each of those three things. So you can go and take a look on slides 3, 4, and 5. You're going to have three different questions you could possibly answer. And you see that on slide 3, I answered one of them. On slide 4, I answered one of them. And slide 5, I answered one of them. So you're writing short just about three different ones. If you don't like the whole idea of writing short about three different prompts, you can go ahead and write long about one of them. That's choice number 2. So brainstorm choice number 2 is go and choose one of these 6 prompts and then go and write long about it here. This is good for the kids who want to kind of go in depth and really look a lot more specifically at what they were thinking and feeling in that moment. And we're going for quality here, not necessarily just quantity, right? Once you've done that, you move into the planning. There's 3 parts of the planning. Just number 1 is what do you think your belief's going to be? What are some moments in your life that that kind of where this came into play? Go ahead and talk specifically about one of those. How old were you? What happened? Who was there? How would you describe yourself when you look back on that day? How do you feel? And then choose 2 or more of these for the last one. So before this event happened, you thought, but now looking back on this event, you know that. Or some of the values that were important to me back then were, and some of the values that are important to me now are this. So what we want you to do is to go ahead and actually start thinking and brainstorming what are some different things I could possibly write about, because we're going to draft next class, and I want to make sure that you have as much material at the ready and armed to the teeth with what you could write about, as opposed to showing up and staring at a blank Google Doc with a blinking cursor and you're just going, I don't know what to write about. I'd rather you have too much and have to choose what to write about. So why don't you go ahead and either choose brainstorm number 1 and number 2, complete that in earnest, and then go ahead and finish up your plan. And we'll go ahead and pause this video right now so you can go ahead and take care of that. Go for it. There you go. That's pretty much it. So, of course, for next class, please make sure you have your this, I believe, brainstorming and planning done, ready to be able to draft next class and read. And of course, if you're feeling like you're getting behind or need some help, just go ahead and shoot me an email or let me know. Otherwise, you guys got this in the bag. Good luck. You got this.